Hello again, you amazing people of the internet. Welcome back to HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the states of New Mexico and Hawaii. This is our preview, our weekly preview of all the properties, and there's a bunch this week going live on the website for tomorrow, Friday, November 13th, Friday the 13th, 2020. Before I get to that, guys, it was a week ago at this time that we're finishing up the video and began to pack up the office and move the office, which I spent all weekend doing. Packing, unpacking, hooking things up, blah, blah, blah. It's amazing to me how few things work after you unplug them, move them 10 feet, and then plug them back in. So I spent all of last week wrestling with the internet, the phone lines, and this microphone, which is why I would like you to leave a comment here on YouTube if I sound wholly different, if my voice sounds wholly different, because to me this microphone, maybe I'm just paranoid, but to me it sounds poppy or tinny or scratchy or whatever, I don't know, but I feel like I sound different, so I'm a little paranoid about that. Please do let me know. Hey Hemingway, maybe you broke the microphone in transport. Incorrect, people. I have never broken anything in my life, and I certainly know how to move things without smashing them into walls. This is just one of these cases of we plugged it back in and then fought with it for 3 days to get it to work again, so I don't know. But do leave a comment. Anyway, with all that said, I want to thank all the people who bought land from us these past 7 days, particularly all the people who were super patient with me over the weekend while they waited for me to get deeds to them on Monday morning. Sold like 3 lots last Thursday night right before we turned the computer off, so quickly got deeds out to those people, but everybody else had to wait till Monday. Whatever the case, buyers this week in Taos County include Andre, Shannon, Elizabeth, Corey, and Zach. In Rio Rancho, we sold lots to Amanda, Elaine, Benina, and Luther, and returning customer Van. In Hawaii, Scott picked up that $18,000 Ojai Estates lot, thanks to him. And in Cibola County, Glenn and Evelyn. Glenn bought that new property we listed last week, this one right here. And Evelyn picked up the Indian Knolls Ranch property, the 20-acre one, for $27,000. This is a really nice property. It only sat for 2 months, a little less than 2 months. I'm even surprised it lasted that long because it's a really good lot. So thank you to all of them. Evelyn and I, of course, will be closing on this through title, which means we'll be closing on it slowly through title. And because that deal will probably bleed into December, it's safe to assume that it will not be closed until spring of next year. That's a hilarious joke about how terrible title companies are in New Mexico, particularly in December. My infectious sense of humor aside, guys, we've got a whole bunch of new properties going live on the website this week. Bulk acquisition, whole new subdivision that we're going to be buying, listing, and selling land in. And it is this one, ba-boom, out here in Taos County again. So, of course, as you guys know, we got 1 million lots out here in Tres Piedras, and by 1 million, I mean like 17 remaining, I think. But we've got a new subdivision out there. It's kind of a sister subdivision. It's a very similar subdivision located just a scooch closer to Taos proper. And it's called Carson Estates. So as you can imagine, guys, we're going to have these 70 listings here on this page like this. You can go through them one by one, or as you all know, because you subscribe to the channel, it's much easier to just go to the master page, come up here where you will find all of the information on this page, including a master spreadsheet with all of the properties linked here. For the record, guys, we're going to have all the information on the subdivision here. We're going to have I promise, very comprehensive FAQ, guys. Very comprehensive. Instead of calling me and asking the questions that I get roughly 100 times a week, just, read the frequently asked questions section. I promise this is not some generic thing we copied and pasted off some other website. This is something tailored to the questions I get all the time about these properties. I promise if you have a question, it will be answered here. If you have a question that is not answered here, I will be genuinely shocked and flummoxed. Whatever the case, aside from all this, we've also got plat maps. Yes, guys, unlike Tres Piedras, we were able to get plat maps. Now, quick thing, for all of you who call and ask, like, hey, do you have any plat maps of this? Here's why here's why I have never felt compelled to, like, really bug the Taos County clerk about these plat maps, because here is what they look like. Good luck with that. If you've got a magnifying glass in 100 years, you might be able to make out some details on this thing. I don't know, but we have plat maps for all of the units that comprise the Carson Estates subdivision. We've got about a bajillion photos taken from out there. Really gorgeous area, really, really pretty. I'll get to these in a bit. We'll have a drone video down here, blah, blah, blah. With all that said, guys, let me just pull this up on a map. I want to introduce you to Carson Estates if you are not familiar. It is, let me go to map view. So it is, where's it at? You've got Taos right over here, and about 10 minutes away along the 64, just west of the 64, west of the Rio Grande Gorge Bridge over here, you have got Carson Estates subdivision carved out on a map up here and down here. Units 1, 4, 5, and 11 are in this region. Units 2 and 3 are down here. Hey, Hemingway, where's units 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10? They don't exist, guys. I have no idea why you would use this numbering system, but that's the way it is. Whatever the case, out here, the real perk, the real benefit of these is that you are surrounded by BLM land, Bureau of Land Management land, government land, that nobody's going to develop or build on. And then over here in the tan area, you've got Carson National Forest. So you've got a bunch of property right here in your backyard, which, number one, can't be developed. So the views you buy today, and there are some gorgeous views out there, are going to remain that way for time to come. Number one. Number two, you've got plenty of sort of unsettled land that you can explore. You can hike, you can camp, or you can go hunting out here in Carson. So just a lot of great things to do out there. Now, like Tres Piedras Estate, so I call these sister subdivisions. They're very similar. Both sort of subject to the same zoning regulations or lack thereof in Taos County. It's pretty much a hands-off attitude about the subdivision. And that's why really one of the biggest earthship communities in America has developed out there, because you can build earthships out there, or tiny homes, or shipping containers, or yurts, or whatnot. And of course, the big selling point is that you can RV out there for lengthy periods of time. 180 days per county regulations, but really, indiscriminate camping and RVing is kind of allowed out there. But now here's the big thing. So this is why I'm on the spreadsheet. So we've got a bunch of single lots. It should be noted the whole subdivision are quarter-acre lots. There's nothing bigger than a quarter-acre out there. We, however, have a couple of adjacent lots that total half acres. We have a couple of adjacent lots that total 3/4 of an acre. Yes, the much-coveted 3/4 of an acre, which I've discussed in too many videos to mention at this point. We've got lots that total 1 acre, so 4 adjacent quarter-acre lots. These are next to impossible to find, but we've got 2 of them. And then we've got 5 adjacent quarter-acre lots that total 1 acre and a quarter. This one, of course, is going for $7,500. To be clear, guys, the pricing structure on these, there's so much information. I try to run through it quickly, but the pricing on these is going to be $900 for quarter-acre lots, $1,800 for half acres. There's going to be financing offered on both of those, $3,000 for 3 quarter-acre lots. No financing offered on those, and then it will graduate from there if we're able to get anything that big ever again. The 4 adjacent lots are going for $4,500, and the 5 adjacent lots for $7,500. And by the way, if you're thinking, hey, Hemingway, why are you gouging me on these prices? Here's the thing, people. Number one, this subdivision is a scooch more expensive than Tres Piedras, which I didn't want to be the case, but had to be the case. We had to pay more for these. More to the point, however, if you compare and contrast this with what some of our quote-unquote competition is offering these lots for, I see 3 quarter-acre lots out there for $10,000, which is obscene, but I see it out there quite a bit. So even at these prices, these are really good prices for lots in this region. Anybody who's watching this channel likely already knows how to navigate this spreadsheet, but just to refresh your course, guys, GPS coordinates, click them. It's going to bring them up on a map. Click the reference number over here. It'll take you directly to the listing page. Click the Buy Now buttons over here to purchase or purchase them on their respective listing pages. And we've got the plat maps reiterated here. You can click on these. It'll bring these up. And here you can actually magnify these. If you're a real glutton for punishment and you want to kind of try to figure this out and what it says and how it reads and how these things are laid out, you can torture yourself with that. We made it a little bit easier for you. So there you go, guys. Just one of the many services we provide here at HemingwayLand.com. So about 70 lots, a handful of adjacents in here, guys. I really like this. I'm very excited about this subdivision. The way the Tres Piedras properties sell, the amount of interest that they generate with you guys. I know how excited you guys are about land like that, like this. So I'm anticipating similar success here. We will see. It should also be mentioned, guys, that we've got more lots, not necessarily going live this week in Rio Rancho, but we got them photographed. We've got 6 new lots. All of these are out in Unit 5. If you bring up the master spreadsheet in Rio Rancho, it starts at the 19Z property, and it goes, what are they? These are the new ones right here, basically. 19Z through 20F. Some of these actually have power at the lot line, cul-de-sac lots. One of them actually has, strangely enough, an underground utility box on it. I'm not promising anything with that one, but curiously, it was on there. Whatever the case, more of the Unit 5 lots will be photographed and go live on the website next week. We got about half of them photographed at this point. The other half down here should be next week. But some good lots, particularly at the prices. We've got this really nice 2-acre lot out there. Developing areas close to Sandia Boulevard. Some of them are a little rural. Some of them are, middle of nowhere. Plenty of privacy, no neighbors, quote unquote, is what I call them. But others are strangely like close to development, close to utilities. So check those out. Oh, hey, by the way, guys, let me go back to the Carson spreadsheet here for a second. For those who don't know, because I get this question more than any other question, are these lots adjacent? Okay, check this out, guys. Here's how you know they're adjacent. We're going to list them adjacent. If we have anything that's adjacent, we're going to list them that way. 1213H is only going to be next to 1213G or B or whatever, but it's not going to be adjacent to 1219D. And if you need proof, just bring it up on the map. Point being, if we have adjacent lots, they are exponentially more valuable when sold together. So we will always list them as one, like we have done down here and elsewhere on the sheet. Just want to mention that because, again, it is the most frequently asked question. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, oh my God, guys, 12 minutes of me blathering on. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the new Carson properties. Hope you like them. I think you will. And we will see you in next week's video. Good day.